Good evening, you're watching Fiji Today. Prime Minister Commodore Bainimarama will launch the electronic fare ticketing system for the Central and Eastern Division tomorrow.
Prime Minister Commodore Bainimarama will start the journey at Sukuna Park, where he will board a bus to depart for Anditha Kambau School at 7 a.m. This was confirmed by the Ministry of Works and Transport spokesperson Sanyana Randrondo this afternoon.
With this launching by the Honourable Prime Minister tomorrow, it will indicate the beginning of the first phase of this program, whereby students that are being assisted under the bus fare government assistance scheme will start off the scheme with 5 pilot schools, namely Sawani, Rishikul Primary and Rishikul Secondary, Tamavua Bharti and Tamavua Primary School. As they completed by the end of the year, we will begin to move forward to between week 2 and week 3 of next year to the rest of the students around Suvarnosori who are being assisted under the government bus fare scheme.
As recommended by the review, the e-ticketing system would eliminate bus drivers from handling the cash directly. The technology is already being used overseas and sees the installation of the machine by the supplier Telecom Fiji Limited, which has won the tender for the next 5 years.
Are now concerns that have always been rampant in the past have been to do with crimes committed against our drivers in terms of robberies. Also issues whereby students have lost bus fares, improper planning of budgets in families resulting in students being unable to get to school, and of course the major issue of pilferage, which is really the pocketing of the bus fares by drivers of bus companies, resulting in them not being able to fully provide for their company owners the real income that has been derived in a day.
School students have also received training on how to utilize the e-ticketing mode of payment, and so will the travelling public as the system roll out by the end of 2012. Training sessions have also been conducted for the bus companies and drivers.
An IMF expert is assisting officials of the Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority to review the income tax legislation. The change simplifies the document, making it more user-friendly for all taxpayers.
FIRCA Chief Executive Chitoko Tikolevu says under the 2009 tax decree there was a need to review the current income tax legislation, which has been in place since 1979. The revised version is simplified for better understanding and has new sections incorporated into the legislation, creating ease for newly established businesses on how tax will apply on each business transaction.
So those new sections has been brought into our new legislation to ensure that there is a full-fledged tax regime in terms of the legislative framework. So really we're looking forward to finalize this very shortly.
He says consultations with stakeholders continues and is essential to ensuring that there is collective ownership from government and its stakeholders.
The other interesting one is the international section, international section. We don't have that in our existing legislations. It's normally driven by our double tax agreements if you're talking about tax treaty countries. So we brought that to our domestic legislation in terms of thin capitalization, interestingly how it applies, how we apply the ratio, and looking at, of course, the same issue in terms of foreign tax credit. At times for non-treaty countries it's quite critical for them to know that with the non-existence of DTAs, these provisions might help them in terms of recognizing credit for taxes paid in Fiji or vice versa in their home country and credit back in Fiji.
The authority hopes to implement the new legislation in the new year.
10 lucky winners were drawn by the Bank of the South Pacific for the Switch, Swipe and Win promotion. This was the 4th draw for this year.
The winners from the BSP Switch, Swipe and Win promotion will receive $1,000 each. The draw was done by the country manager BSP Kevin McCarthy at Dominion House this morning. BSP has been drawing winners for this promotion from the last 4 months. McCarthy says this is one of the incentives provided by the bank for its new and existing customers.
The Switch part of Switch, Swipe and Win is a commitment to these customers that if they bring their account over to BSP, they will get 6 months fee-free banking when they come over, as an incentive for them to come across. Sometimes people don't change their banking too easily, but sometimes they just need a little bit of incentive to do that. Swipe and Win is the second part of it, and this is for both our new customers coming across, but also our existing customers. It's important that we also reward our existing clients as well. So every time they use an ATM or an FPOS machine, they'll go into a draw, and this is another one of these draws. We're doing 10 $1,000 prize winners each month, all leading up to the big draw in December. We'll be drawing a single prize winner in December of $50,000.
McCarthy says BSP will continue to provide such incentives for the benefit of its customers.
We're still continuing. There's a few issues these days when you want to open accounts. You've got to go and get your TIN numbers, and you've got to change your salary across, and so there's a lot of people and places that we're working on. Loans as well. If they've got a loan somewhere else, they've got to move the loan across. So it's not a simple process to change banks, and we recognise that. We're giving our customers and our prospective customers as much chance as they can and as much assistance as we can give them to bring their accounts across.
Join us again after the break.